today we're going to do a smudge ceremony for a little crow. This little one was hit by a car literally minutes before I found them. I'm going to do a little smudge ceremony here for her and show you what it is that I do when I do a smudge. Now, I'm going to say here that what I do is what I do. There's various ways to do it. It all depends on your belief system. It's different for absolutely every practitioner, and I feel that that's a lot better than everybody being really cookie cutter, because it comes directly from your heart. It's not what you read in a book. It's not from a book. You're not taking somebody else's words. This is from your heart, and I believe that that makes it all the more special and genuine in the eyes of whichever creator that you follow. So what I'm using here is just a regular everyday smudge stick. This particular one has cedar and sage in it. There are some that are just plain white sage. Now this one here is prairie sage and cedar. So this is more traditional to my area. Not so much my area, but my country. Out west there's a lot of prairie sage that grows wild, as well as the red cedar. Down where I am in Nova Scotia, we didn't have the red cedar, and we didn't have the prairie sage growing wild. There was a lot of trading that went on between the native peoples, so the Mi'kmaq down here, quite possible they did use this, but they did use a lot of juniper and sweetgrass, and I do have that in the house, but I didn't bring it down because I wanted the convenience of the smudge stick, which are very easy to make, and we will follow that in a different video. So, pretty much, you just light your stick bundle. This can take a few tries, depends on how windy it is, and if you have any embers on your stick. Just going to let that smolder for a little bit, let it get really smoky. So this is our little bird. She's still very warm. I'm assuming it's a female, though it very well could be male. Rigor mortis is starting to set in. Absolutely beautiful bird. Very beautiful face. This bird was a young one. I thought it was a full-grown adult because there's no pink around the mouth, and this time of year the young ones do have the pink. But this one has blue eyes. It's very interesting. See if I can even see this eye. Yeah, this side is pretty obliterated, but the eyes are still blue on this side. That's amazing. I'm assuming maybe it's a yearling. Yeah, the mouth inside is still quite pink. So this is a fledge. This would be a fledgling male, which is about the size of the adult females. It's about the size of my Mortimer, actually. I'm just going to light my smudge a little bit more so we can get some more smoke. Now, most of the time I do this, I don't say any words at all. It's all about feeling and emotion and intention. Words are for speaking to other people. They're so that your feelings can be interpreted through other people. So usually when I do this, I just feel the emotions. I don't say anything, so it's going to be hard for me to actually word things. Yeah, we're getting some smoke here. So pretty much just feel. I have no idea how to explain what this is that I do. But anyway, you fan the smoke over the entire body with full intention on cleansing the soul of the animal or the person. The smoke is cleansing. The smoke is going to cleanse them from all negativity that they may have suffered. as well as help their spirit to cross. Now again, like the smudge stick, the feather fan, they're all tools. You do not really need them. They're a focusing tool. It helps you focus on what you're doing. It is a great help when you're not exactly practiced to use a tool. Eventually you don't need tools. I usually don't use a lot of tools in my practice. Okay, so one thing that I do a full fan smudge over the body. Then I get a little more close to the animal and I breathe in a little bit of smoke and blow out the smoke over that into their little face. Because the air comes into us through our lungs and back out. And it is said by some traditions that the soul actually exits the body through the airways. So I'm just blowing the smudge stick to get it smoking a little bit more. I might actually need to light it a bit. That's the thing with smudge sticks, is that they often go out. But I don't see that as a bad thing, because it just means that they're not going to turn into a great big flame. And I usually do whisper a little something to the animal. It's usually something like, may your spirit be free, may you reincarnate into a good place. May your spirit be free of all trauma and negativity. May you soar through the sky to the Creator. May your body go back to the earth and feed many others. And I usually do say a little something to the animal themselves, which is specific to that animal. So I am going to collect a few feathers from this individual to use in my arts and craft, because his feathers are beautiful feathers. So I like to let as little go to waste as possible. So when I harvest from an animal, I not just do the spirit blessing smudging, but I also ask the animal to use the parts, which is what I'm going to do right now. And when I ask to use parts, I don't say anything verbally, I just go into myself and I feel it in my heart when I'm asking them. And I ask them telepathically because I find it just feels more easy for me than to verbalize, as well as the animal is on the spirit plane and they're not physical, so I really see no point in using physical words for that, if that makes sense. So pretty much what I tell the animal, in this case this little crow, is I ask you to use your body in making smudge fans and dreamcatcher embellishments, and that I will turn him into something beautiful that will live on forever, and that I thank him from the bottom of my heart to be able to use his parts. And it really means a lot to me that I'm able to use his feathers. So that's the end of the smudging. I'm going to go ahead with the more grueling task of collecting some feathers and cleaning the feathers so that I may use them and honor his spirit even further. Then the rest of his body will go over to the body farm to be used as food for other animals. And his life that is not within him anymore, his physical components, are going to be recycled and used as fuel for other animals. They're going to use his energy. They're going to break down the proteins in his body and incorporate those proteins into making their own cells. So in a way, he's going to live on inside of another living animal, and that is just an amazing part of the biological cycle of life.